I'm Katie Simpson from Finding Your True Voice, and in this video I'm going to bust a myth that many people think is the truth, and it makes me so sad. It is, I'm tone deaf. So have any of you been told that you're tone deaf from an early age? This is such a shame and really makes me quite angry, because it can make such an impact on people's lives and silence their singing voice forever. So what actually is tone deafness, and are you tone deaf? Well, tone deafness is when you actually can't distinguish different pitches. So you can't hear a siren in the UK. Ours goes nee-no, nee-no, that type of thing. You can't tell that they're two different sounds. You think that it just sounds the same. And that is a real disability, a physical disability that a very small number of people have. But I guess that's probably not the case with you. So have you been told that you're tone deaf, or do you personally think you're tone deaf? Do you have a struggle with pitching different notes and staying in tune? Well, often that is a nervous sort of thing, but mostly it's due to a lack of practice of those muscles. So the throat is, on what we actually make the sound from, is a very, very tiny muscle, and that muscle needs to be very, very flexible. So it needs to stretch really quite thinly for high notes and really come together and be more flabby and thicker for low notes. And so we obviously need to warm up that muscle regularly, and use it regularly and stretch it regularly. It's just like, you know, if you decided that you wanted to run the London Marathon or the Boston Marathon or whatever it is, and you decided, right, I'm going to do that marathon tomorrow with no practice. Do you think that you'd run really well? No, your muscles would just give up very soon. So our vocal muscles need to be worked, and if that's done at from an early age, that really, really helps. So I guess that you're not tone deaf, that you can actually hear nee-no, nee-no, that they're two different notes. So phew, you're not tone deaf. So what could you do about it to improve your voice? Well, there are really easy things to do to improve our voices. So basically, I want you to just take in a deep breath and just relax, and just take that breath out. So another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Making it slower now. One more, in through the nose and out through the mouth, even slower. Okay, so hopefully that's got you into a more relaxed state. So I want you just in your own voice just to breathe a sigh of relief. For me, my voice, that's what that would sound like. Maybe yours is quite a bit deeper from that, maybe it's higher than that, but that's fine, whatever's natural to you. And just a really relaxed sigh of relief. Don't try and do anything particular, just feel happy and relaxed and let that come out in your voice. Okay, so we can do the same thing on a little hum. So it's like you've had Bisto gravy in the UK. It's like Okay, so let's just warm up those hums. And feel a real sense of relaxation and satisfaction. Think of your favourite food or wine. And just get more and more excited about those. Okay, so just relax a moment and stop. So you're just beginning to warm up your voice, and this is brilliant. This is exactly what your voice needs. It just needs to be stretched a little bit higher and a little bit lower. So that's the thing I want you to practice first, and maybe just practice for a week. And I don't want you to make a very loud sound at all. In fact, it should be really gentle and released. And the best thing to do is to, when you wake up in the morning, just yawn out loud. Your spouse might not be very happy you doing that or wonder what you're doing, but just tell them you're warming up your voice. It actually makes you feel good. It gets an adrenaline going and it gets the oxygen going. So do that in the morning and then do it at night time. And just notice where your voice is going, if it's going higher and lower, but don't try and push it to do anything. So these things are the start of exercising our larynx, warming it up, stretching it, relaxing it, and letting it find its space. So after you've done that for about a week, just a couple of times a day, maybe 3 or 4 times a day if you want to see quicker progress, but don't do it for a long period of time, just a few minutes, just like we did. Okay, the next thing I just want you to do is to just have that relaxed feeling first. You mustn't be tense at all. Relaxed feeling. And I just want you to just find a really comfy note and just allow that sound to carry on about the same without going up and down. So for me, a really comfy sound. I just allow it to fade off. Okay, so for a few days I just want you to do that, a really comfy note, if you like to call it, just one tone, and after a little while just let it peter out. So then you can just choose a slightly lower one. So for me, and I just let it fade out, and then a slightly higher one. And don't worry if you don't know yet what higher or lower is, you can't sense that. That's fine, just do different things and then just find one sound and just carry that along. So experiment with that and see how that goes. And then after a while you can just try a few notes if you like. So rather than sliding on a siren like we just did, we call that a siren, believe it or not, you can just take a couple of notes like the UK police car siren if you want. Ni-no, ni-no, ni-no. Try and do that. Maybe a little bit lower. Ni-no, ni-no, ni-no. And don't try and criticise yourself and say, oh, I'm out of tune. Because as adults, we really tend to criticise ourselves. And the problem with it is that we criticise ourselves before the sounds come out. So we instinctively block off the sound. We create tension in the body and in the throat, and then, you know, whatever's going to come out is not going to be a great sound. So don't criticise yourself, just allow yourself to play like a child. A child wouldn't go, oh, I'm not going to sing that, it sounds a bit weird. They would just play and not care, so who cares? And be in a closed off room if you want, so that nobody can hear you, but just have that attitude of just allowing anything to, whatever comes out of your mouth, and don't think that I am singing, okay? Just allow the sounds to come out and just play and see how it goes. So just a little aside, another reason why a lot of people are told they're tone deaf or think they're tone deaf is when maybe at school the teacher has been singing the song and you've got to sing along and you sounded pretty awful. It may well be because they were singing it too high for you and you've got a naturally low voice, or maybe it's the other way round. Most often it's the first way round. So teachers do tend to sing pretty high to little children, because younger children tend to have higher voices than they do have later in life. But you know, a lot of people are going to have really low voices when they're adults, aren't they? So that is one of the big reasons why teachers think, oh, you're tone deaf. And it's not the case at all. It's just because they're not giving it to you in the right pitch for your voice. Another reason is that maybe a teacher again. I'm actually a music teacher, so I'm not being horrible to music teachers, but it's something that we need to be taught as teachers not to do. So something is, you know, that they will play some things and then expect you to just suddenly start in this same key. Now, hearing that and relating that to the sound that comes out of your mouth is actually really hard. So some people who have a real difficulty with hearing an instrument note and hearing a singer's throat, they often need to hear somebody whose voice is very similar to theirs. So if you're a man, a male voice, if you've got a high male voice, a high male voice, or a lower male voice, or maybe just a male voice will be fine for you. Hearing a woman's pitch and being able to make that low enough for you, so an octave or maybe two lower, is a tricky technical thing that we all have to learn. Or just knowing that that is la in your voice, or la, you know, if you're singing low, or la. So that's hard. So don't be hard on yourself, because these things all take time. So just give yourself time. So in the first instance, just discover your voice on a really relaxed, happy sigh, and just let your voice just slide away. And then just experiment with it and just see what happens. And wake up with a lovely yawn. And when you go to bed as well. So I hope that really helps. You are probably not tone deaf, so phew, okay? And I believe everybody can sing. I've taught enormous amounts of different sorts of people to sing who have a lot of difficulties maybe in one area or another. So let me assure you that you can sing. If you've got it in your heart to do so, it's not that difficult. It's just being nice to yourself and learning the fundamentals. So do stay with me on this challenge and channel, and hopefully you'll learn lots and lots of things. So do please subscribe and click like, and tell any friends that you know of who would like to join it too. All the very best. Bye.